The B-2 Spirit bomber is a unique aircraft in the world, one that no missile can easily destroy, no matter how hard it tries. Although it looks as large as a football field, on enemy radar it appears no bigger than a fly. No matter how complex the radar network is, deceiving it is effortless for the B-2 Spirit bomber. Built at a cost of billions of dollars, it is the most expensive aircraft ever made. Compared to other jets, it is not only extremely quiet, but can also easily fool heat-seeking missiles as well as infrared-guided missiles. It is an aircraft that, if used, could even change the world map. But the real question is, why does an aircraft that is 52 meters wide not get detected by radar? What kind of science is behind it that the United States has kept hidden for the last 37 years? Once again, welcome to Nexus of Knowledge Videos. Viewers, behind the creation of the B-2 bomber lies an incident that once made America bow its head in shame before the world. On May 1st, 1960, an American Lockheed U-2 aircraft took off from the Peshawar Air Base in Pakistan. It was heading on a secret CIA mission to spy on the Soviet Union. This was the Cold War era, when both the United States and the Soviet Union were trying to outdo each other through technology. America was confident that its U-2 Lockheed spy plane could fly at very high altitudes and that no one could harm it there. The U.S. believed that no Soviet missile could reach such heights. But as soon as the aircraft entered Soviet territory, radar immediately detected it. So they sent several fighter jets and launched many missiles. But hitting the aircraft at such a high altitude was beyond their capability. Then the Soviet military locked its S-75 Dvina missile onto the plane and fired it. The United States was aware of this missile system, but it believed that the Soviet S-75 would also be unable to reach such a high altitude. What happened next was something America had never even imagined. The S-75 missile hit the U-2 Lockheed aircraft with extreme precision while it was flying at an altitude of around 80,000 feet. The plane crashed near a city called Ekaterinburg, and the pilot ejected safely. At first, the United States claimed that it was a NASA weather research aircraft. But when the Soviet Union presented the captured pilot and the U-2 surveillance equipment to the world, America faced massive global embarrassment. This incident taught both countries a serious lesson. After this, Russia, then the Soviet Union, started strengthening its air defense systems, while the United States began working on technology that would be literally invisible to radar. At that time, the U.S. had B-52 bombers. But after this incident, it became clear that they would be shot down even before entering Russian territory. In other words, America could not use its nuclear weapons against Russia, even if it wanted to. By 1976, the USSR had developed surface-to-air missiles capable of shooting down aircraft from distances of up to 100 kilometers, including the S-300 system. At that point, Soviet air defenses had become so strong that a U.S. Air Force general said sending a B-52 bomber into the Soviet Union would be like throwing a stone into a beehive. This was the time when the United States launched the Advanced Technology Bomber, ATB, program in 1978. The goal of this program was to build a bomber aircraft that could enter Soviet territory, drop bombs in front of enemy radars, and leave without being noticed. The B-2 bomber fulfilled all these requirements. Its first flight took place in 1989, but it was officially revealed to the world in 1997. The biggest strength of the B-2 is its ability to evade radar detection. Every single edge of this aircraft is designed in such a way that when radar signals hit it, they do not return to the radar. Instead, the direction of those signals is changed. This is also why the aircraft has only wings, no fuselage shape like conventional aircraft, and no tail. In normal aircraft, the vertical tail fin is very easily detected by radar. Air defense systems use a vast network of interconnected radars that constantly send signals in all directions to ensure that no part of the sky remains undetected. Normally, these signals reflect off an aircraft's body and return to the radar, allowing its presence to be recorded. The tail fin, in particular, is almost impossible to hide because when seen from the side, it acts like a mirror for radar waves. However, the body of the B-2 Spirit bomber is designed so that no matter where the radar signal comes from, it cannot reflect back in the same direction after hitting the aircraft. That is why the B-2 has no tail at all. Its zigzag design deflects radar signals in the opposite direction. The success of the B-2 bomber is not based on its design alone, but it also has a special coating that absorbs nearly 100% of radar signals into itself. The United States developed a secret coating whose details are still hidden from the world. Because of this coating, the B-2 bomber becomes almost completely invisible on radar. Its radar cross-section is astonishingly small, only about 0.0001 square meters. Detecting it on radar is like trying to detect a fly in the sky. In comparison, on radar, a B-52 bomber appears as large as a 1- or 2-bedroom apartment. An F-15 looks about the size of small room, a JF-17 like a single bed, and a Rafale like a large pillow. This means that even though the B-2 bomber is many times larger than all of these, it appears on radar as small as a fly. In the world of aviation security, this technology is known as stealth, and its foundation was laid with the B-2 bomber. The B-2 Spirit bomber does not only avoid enemy radar. Its low heat signature also allows it to evade infrared and heat-seeking missiles. Normally, air defense systems also include infrared surveillance systems. These systems detect the heat coming out from behind a jet and then lock missile systems onto that heat signature. However, the engines of the B-2 bomber are hidden inside its body. After combustion in the jet engines, the heat is not released directly outside. Instead, it is first mixed with cold outside air. Because of this, the B-2 bomber leaves almost no heat signature behind it, which is why the B-2 is considered one of the aircraft with the lowest heat signatures in the world. For example, if an F-16 jet can be detected by infrared surveillance systems from a distance of about 100 kilometers, the B-2 bomber cannot be detected until it comes within roughly 10 kilometers. Even then, it rarely flies low enough to be picked up by infrared sensors. The B-2 bomber has an astonishing ability to fly at altitudes of around 15,000 meters, about 50,000 feet. Because it flies at such high altitudes, it not only avoids infrared detection, but the thinner atmosphere also reduces drag on the aircraft and improves fuel efficiency. As a result, it can travel much longer distances. With a full fuel load, the B-2 bomber can easily cover a distance of around 11,000 kilometers. At this point, you might think that staying invisible to radar and infrared surveillance is its biggest strength, but that's not all. What truly makes the B-2 a real stealth bomber is its ECM, electronic countermeasures. The B-2 is equipped with advanced ECM systems. These systems first analyze the frequency of enemy radar. Then they transmit false signals back on the same frequency. Because of this, the radar either shows the B-2 at the wrong location or displays it at 20 different locations at the same time, even though it is actually present in only one place. The system records the radar signal, modifies it, and sends it back. The radar believes the signal is genuine, but in reality, it is fake. The most interesting part is that this ECM system sends false signals only to the specific radar that detects the aircraft. This makes the enemy think that the radar is experiencing noise or an error. If false signals were sent to all radars, the enemy might become suspicious. Most of the B-2 bomber's body is made using carbon graphite composite materials. The aircraft was built in sections and then assembled with extreme precision, much like a Swiss watchmaker assembling every part perfectly. Now let's talk about its payload. Surprisingly, the B-2 can carry around 18,000 kilograms of weapons, roughly equivalent to the weight of about 15 cars. Inside its belly, it can hide 80 DAMs, which are GPS-guided bombs, 16 B-83 nuclear bombs, and 16 AGM. All these weapons are stored inside the B-2's internal weapons bay, and the doors remain closed during flight to maintain stealth. In terms of range, the B-2 can fly from the United States to Russia and back. With aerial refueling, it can reach almost any corner of the world. During the Afghanistan War, the B-2 bomber took off from a U.S. Air Force base in Missouri, traveled about 9,500 kilometers, carried out bombings in Afghanistan, and returned without landing. During this mission, it required only one mid-air refueling. Throughout the entire mission, the B-2 bomber remained in the air continuously for 45 hours, without appearing on a single radar. In addition to this, it was used for bombing missions in Serbia during Operation Allied Force in 1999. In 2003, it was deployed in Operation Iraqi Freedom, and in 2011, during Operation Odyssey Dawn, the B-2 carried out bombing missions in Libya. The B-2 Spirit bomber can fly in any weather and under any conditions. Even if GPS satellites are destroyed, it continues flying using its backup systems and can navigate by observing the stars. The high-tech sonar and sensor cameras installed on the B-2 make it the world's largest obstacle avoidance aircraft. It automatically identifies terrain and adjusts its flight accordingly. Because it is essentially a massive flying wing with no tail, rudder, or elevators, its stability is not naturally perfect. A pilot cannot fly it without computer assistance. It uses one of the most complex computer systems in the world, which constantly adjusts roll and pitch movements. The pilot simply commands the computer to turn, and the computer then maneuvers the aircraft precisely as required. Obviously, such an advanced and highly secured aircraft is extremely expensive. Only 21 B-2 bombers have ever been built, and a single aircraft costs billions of dollars, more than the GDP of many countries. All of these aircraft are owned exclusively by the United States, and so far, America has no intention of selling this technology. Its appetite for fuel is enormous. In just 1 hour, it burns fuel worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, while a normal commercial jet consumes only a fraction of that. The maintenance of the B-2 is also very different from ordinary aircraft. After every flight, the entire plane is gently washed and then recoated with its secret stealth material. Every corner of the aircraft's body is inspected to ensure there isn't even a tiny hole or dent. If the B-2's body gets damage as small as a mosquito bite, it can lose its ability to maintain stealth. We hope you enjoyed this Nexus of Knowledge video and will like and share it generously. Thank you very much for your love and supportive comments. We'll meet again in another amazing video.